In a world that is just obsessed with AI, with automation, with sales funnels, what if the biggest, most important factor in any deal is just you? We're going to dive into this idea that people buy people. It's this timeless truth that, honestly, still runs the show, and we're going to break down the 7 big reasons why your humanity is your single greatest asset.
All right, let's just jump right in with a kind of wild question. What if everything you've ever learned about your product's features and the benefits and the price, what if all of that is secondary? Seriously, what if the most valuable thing you bring to the table isn't what you sell, but who you are?
And that leads us to this big idea called the human marketplace. It's pretty simple, really. It just means that every single transaction, I don't care if it's buying a cup of coffee or closing a massive corporate merger, it's all driven by connection, trust, and emotion, not just the features on a spec sheet. We're all in this marketplace every single day.
And at the core of all this is a simple psychological truth. We are emotional creatures. We make decisions based on how we feel, and then only later do we use logic to back it all up. Look at this. Logic, yeah, it makes you think, but it's emotion that makes you act. And that action, it's almost always sparked by a connection to another person.
So, where does that human connection even start? Well, that brings us to the first and maybe the most important reason of all, the trust factor. Before anyone ever signs on the dotted line, they're asking themselves one simple question: can I trust you? In a world full of deepfakes and AI, I'm telling you, real, genuine authenticity, that's the new currency.
So how do you actually build that trust? Well, it's not some one-time thing. It's built brick by brick. It's built through being consistent, by being radically honest, and, this is a big one, by making sure your words actually match your actions. It's about making people feel safe with you. Once you have that, selling isn't about persuasion anymore. It's just about serving.
And once that trust is there, it opens the door for reason number 2. We are desperate for emotional connection. I mean, this quote just says it all, right? We're not looking for a cold, transactional, vending machine experience. We're human. We're wired for relationships where we feel seen and understood, not like we're just another number in a spreadsheet.
So how do we actually build that connection? We build a bridge. We do it by sharing our stories, not just rattling off statistics. We do it by showing real empathy for what they're going through. And maybe most important of all, by shutting up and listening way more than we talk. When someone feels truly heard, price suddenly becomes a lot less important. That likability factor is a superpower.
Now that emotional connection leads directly into our third reason, what I like to call the transfer of confidence. Think about it. Buying anything feels risky, right? People are putting their money or maybe even their reputation on the line. What they're really looking for is to borrow your certainty. Now let's be clear, this isn't about being arrogant, not at all. It's about having a deep, grounded conviction in what you do, and that conviction sends out these powerful signals. Competence tells them you know what you're doing, experience shows them you've done this before, and leadership, well, that makes them feel safe enough to follow you, which quiets all that doubt in their own head.
But it goes even deeper than confidence. People are drawn to those they feel are on the same team. And that's our fourth reason, shared values. We instinctively want to do business with people who see the world like we do. As you can see here, people follow when they see their values reflected back at them, when they get hooked by a compelling story, when they feel inspired, and when they see you as a guide they can trust.
And that idea of being a guide, it's so important. It's our 5th reason all on its own. Look, we live in a world where we are drowning in information but starving for wisdom. People will happily pay for a guide. They're not just buying the map, they're buying the navigator, the person who's walked the path, who knows where the traps are, and who can help them get to where they want to go. Your real value is in providing clarity.
Okay, so how do you do all of this? How do you connect and build confidence and be a guide? Well, that brings us to reason number 6. You do it through story. Look, facts and figures, they're fine. They inform. But it's your story, your struggles, your lessons, your wins. That is what transforms. It just blows right past the logical brain and connects on a purely human, emotional level. It makes you real.
Which brings us to the ultimate final differentiator. In a world where pretty much anything can be copied, commoditized, or automated by AI, there's only one single feature that your competition can never, ever replicate.
And that feature is you. It's your personality, your unique journey, your one-of-a-kind human touch. This is your ultimate competitive advantage. Nobody on this planet can compete with you at being you. I mean, really think about it. Nobody can copy the specific tone of your voice. They can't fake your weird sense of humor. They definitely can't steal your unique life story. And they can't reverse engineer your energy, your presence, or, and this is the most important one, how you make other people feel. These are your uncopyable features. And this all wraps up into our seventh and final reason, the relationship. Because if you really want people to buy from you, you first have to become someone worth buying from. The whole focus shifts from what you're selling to how you're showing up. And in the end, the product or the service, that just becomes the souvenir of the relationship they built with you. So this is the final thought I really want to leave you with. Stop focusing so much on what you sell and start focusing more on who you are becoming. Work on your character, your integrity, your authenticity. Because you, and you will always be, the absolute best and most unique product you will ever have the chance to represent.